The difference between intuition and trauma. Have you ever had a strong feeling that something was wrong, and you couldn't explain why? Maybe you pulled back from someone new before they gave you a reason to, or you felt a wave of dread in a situation that looked perfectly safe on paper. We call these gut feelings. We're told to trust them. But there's a question almost nobody asks. Is that actually your intuition? Or is it your nervous system replaying a memory? Because they feel almost identical. And for anyone who has been through pain, confusion, or loss, knowing the difference can change everything. The science behind both. Psychiatrist Bessel Kolk, author of The Body Keeps the Score, spent decades documenting how traumatic experiences don't just live in our memories, they live in our bodies. Our nervous system encodes the past as sensation, not as story. Psychologist Stephen Porges calls this process neuroception, the nervous system's continuous subconscious scan of the environment for cues of safety or danger. It happens faster than thought, faster than perception. Both intuition and trauma responses run through this same system. Both bypass conscious reasoning. Both feel like signal. The critical difference is what they're actually picking up on. Intuition is neuroception reading the present. A trauma response is neuroception reading the past. 3 ways to tell them apart. First, the quality of the sensation. Intuition tends to arrive quietly. It's a soft pull, a settling, a low and steady knowing, even when the message is uncomfortable. Trauma responses tend to spike. They're urgent, loud, flooding. There's often a sharp edge of fear, shame, or the need to escape immediately. Example: you're on a first date and something feels slightly off. Not dramatic, just a quiet, "this doesn't fit." That gentle signal without a racing heart or flood of worst-case scenarios is more likely intuition. Contrast that with someone who can't get through a dinner without their chest tight and their mind listing all the ways this person might eventually hurt them. That activation may be the nervous system matching the present to an old wound. Second, present versus past. Ask yourself, is there actual evidence of a threat right now? Or does this situation remind me of something that was threatening before? Peter Levine, founder of Somatic experiencing therapy, showed that the nervous system doesn't file traumatic experiences under past. It files them under watch for this. So a new partner being quiet on a Tuesday can trigger the same internal alarm as a parent who went cold for weeks. The alarm is real, but it may not be about Tuesday. Example: someone who grew up with a volatile parent may feel flooded with dread when a partner speaks in a firm tone, even when the partner is simply tired, not angry. The nervous system has pattern-matched the tone to a historical threat. That's not intuition. That's a survival system doing exactly what it was trained to do. Third, expansion versus collapse. Intuition tends to open you, even toward difficult truths. It gives you clarity, not catastrophe. Trauma responses tend to narrow your world. They collapse your options. They whisper, or shout, that you already know how this ends. Example: declining a job that pays well but feels wrong without anxiety or obsessive second-guessing. That's intuition creating spaciousness. Refusing every new opportunity because something might go wrong, because it always does. That's contraction shaped by history. Why this happens, the research. Neuroscience now shows that both intuition and trauma response activate overlapping brain structures, particularly the brainstem and subcortical areas, the oldest parts of the brain, the parts that process experience before language. When trauma goes unresolved, it raises what researchers call our threat baseline. We become, as Porges describes, chronically stuck in a defensive autonomic state, scanning for danger, finding it in safe places, and misreading neutral signals as hostile ones. Kolk documented this in study after study. Trauma survivors don't just remember what happened. Their nervous systems continue to respond as if it is still happening. The body keeps the score, even when the mind has moved on. The practice, the pause check. So what do we do with this? Here is a grounded practice based on Gendlin's focusing technique and somatic experiencing principles. It's called the pause check. P, physical. Where am I feeling this in my body? Chest, gut, throat. Just notice, without judgment. Age. How old does this feeling feel? Does it remind me of a younger version of myself? If yes, this signal may be from then, not now. Urgency. Is this feeling demanding immediate action? Intuition is patient. Trauma is urgent. If it's screaming, slow down. Safety. Is there actual danger in front of me right now, or does this feel familiar? Look at the evidence, not the echo. Expand or contract. When I sit with this feeling, do I feel more open or more closed? Clarity or collapse? This isn't about dismissing your feelings. It's about getting curious about where they come from. Intuition deepens when you attend to it. Trauma responses tend to escalate when ignored, or flood you when you engage too fast. Both deserve compassion, but only one of them is navigating from the present. You deserve to make choices from the present. The pause check isn't a cure, but a question. And the more you ask it, the more you begin to hear the difference between the voice of your history and the voice of your present.